Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Because she told me he was going to do it.
No. Hey.
How are you?
How you doing?
Owen's not gonna be here. Got three though.
That's all we need.
Yep.
I'm going to pull up Grant's email so I got it.
Good to see you. How you doing, my man? Good. Living that dream. Always.
What was, do you have the appraisals on, that Brett property?
Which one?
Luke Brett? Do you have that?
I don't, let's see, didn't Dad report on that last time?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
I don't have them with me.
I can't remember, is it in the minutes?
It should be. I think that was one of the ones we, let's see. It was a long one. Guess it was one to miss. Let's see. 27. 68.
That was the old guy.
That's the average.
Is he here or is he in town?
And then we offered 50, correct, for,
Correct.
and we tore it down,
He sits here,
so,
Correct.
if he's here.
because now he wants to, see if he wants to go back and offer 60.
They do the demo. We can. But yeah, because what was voted on was to go ahead and do 50 and they do the demo. That's what I said.
Does he come back and turn that down? I'm dying of thirst.
Let's want water. Water?
Sure. Be great. Oh, I guess Tim's gonna be
Water? No, thank you.
no one press open last time. He's gonna come and withdraw it is what Mayor told me.
Woodrow?
Guess it's in the floodplain. And you'd have to,
I figured it would be.
I don't know, cause.
See, 'cause it-
Yeah.
You know, it's down, and it gets out of the flood from when you go on industrial.
Right.
And then when you get back and turn right off industrial, then that gets back in the flood. Like, I think back there where Conley's buildings are, I think that's on the flood.
It'd be pretty. I mean, if they actually could, but that's the whole reason Craigers could never rebuild because they're.
Well, I guess you could build a big concrete foundation,
How we doing? Hanging in there.
which could be a basement, and I wouldn't see why
Been
not.
on a Monday.
It just flood.
Nah, not
Well,
at
that
all.
don't, I mean, I haven't seen water up there since '97.
Right. And that's just a pass through, because I remember there was
Say,
something
Tim.
on 50 that was still off, down off the floodplain, and as long as it was some kind of storage building, as long as it had like where water could go underneath of it, that was fine, but the regulations.
I don't know what Aurora's gonna do. I mean, my God. Thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks.
I mean, everything there is in floodplain. And they have no levy.
Yes.
Was there any bids come in?
Hey, Bill.
Appreciate it, sir.
I guess not. Do we know if any bids came in?
Yeah.
I
No.
don't
Still
think
walking?
so.
No, I called over at
Still
8:30
walking?
and came this morning.
Okay.
Trail? Yeah. As often as I can.
Brought you that.
Leslie,
Mm-hmm.
is Joe's sister going back
No, not till Wednesday.
next Wednesday?
This Wednesday.
What do you say?
We miss him.
What do you say?
Yeah, my cousin was just in too from Texas. She was
Huh?
my cousin, the one who's the federal prosecutor or whatever. She just left. She was here over the weekend.
One part of Texas?
The Woodlands. It's part of. It's like a suburb of Houston.
Was in San Antonio.
Yeah. Oh, were you?
Mm-hmm.
Sandy's sister's been there for 2 weeks. I'm ready for her to go back.
Glad you like your family.
Ready for her to go back.
I wouldn't worse, my worst
That's
enemy is
chocolate.
to spend 2 weeks with my brother in a house.
You already go 2 weeks to Arizona and have your mother-in-law with you. You'll learn a lesson then. I guess we got another minute.
How's it going, Tony?
Just fine. How you doing?
Good.
I can't believe you compare me to Grant or think I was Grant, though. Carl.
Thought you were Grant Hughes. I can't help
You're sitting in that spot?
it. Come back you up on that, Carl.
Are you guys ready?
Oh, we are. Yeah, sorry.
Ready?
Is everybody ready?
Call the October 12th Lawrenceburg Redevelopment Commission meeting to order. Roll call, Grant Hughes, absent. President Mike Lawrence is here. Vice President Tom Rogers.
Here.
Tony Abbott.
Here.
Donnie Bryant, absent. Olin Clausen, absent. Lawrenceburg School Board member Patrick Myers is absent. City Attorney.
Leslie, I'm here. I was reading along, sorry.
Looking for approval of minutes from the previous meeting.
I have one correction, and I know it wasn't here, but, and it really was just a fact that Mr. Hughes had stated, let's see what page it's on, when we're talking about the Snaybelt matter. Oh, Lord, sorry. There it is. It's on page 2, the 5th paragraph. The amount that staff had come up with, and that was, I'm talking in 2013, when we sat down and went through the list that he gave us, we could justify $55,425. So he had 33, and I believe the 33,080 was one number that this board came up with. It wasn't something that, you know, I mean, so it's on staff, based on staff review, we came up with 55,000, because he had Shumway in there, and we took the Shumway out, so.
Could you get us a list of what properties those was?
Yeah, I could tell you. Let's see here, let me find his list, because I think I marked it on. Okay, so that would be 123 East High Street, which was $2,000 commission. 207 Walnut Street, which was the Eads property, That was 2,500. 322 Center and 322 and a half Maple, the ones we have up tonight, actually, $6,400. Commission. Arch and Center Project, Eaves and Ricketts, that's $12,600. And then the Tate Street Trailer Court. And I only based that on the price that, at the time that Mr. Snable had actually worked on it, the price then was $770, not $800 and whatever $890, I think is what we settled for. So the $770 is what I based that on, and that's $30,800 for a total of $58,080.
Well, I thought everybody agreed that he wasn't entitled for Tate Street.
I just know,
Had a discussion.
Well, we said he had touched Tate Street. I think there was some question that he had never had anything to do with Tate Street.
Yeah, but I know he touched it, but I thought it was several years in
All we
between.
did was went through on the ones we know he worked on. It's up to you guys to sort through the rest of it.
right, the viable ones were the ones I mentioned. We did have in there at one time Oatman, 333 Center, but he was paid on that, and I checked with, and what he says on that one, I believe, was the homeowner was supposed to pay half and we were supposed to pay half, and the homeowner did pay her half. So, that might, that's the difference between the 55 I mentioned and the 58, so.
Do you have the dates of those, when those was done?
Let's see. I have the year. Let's see here. I don't know if this is the only page. I can get those for you.
Well, for our next meeting, can
Yeah.
you put a list in the packet?
Sure.
Along with the dates?
Yes, I can. I have a whole list of
And-
all the closings we've done with redevelopment since 2000, beginning of 2010, it looks like.
Have you had any response back from Mr. Blondell?
No, I did call, talk to him. I sent him a letter that's in
Yeah.
your packets. And he said, well, can you get me a counter? Is there any kind of counter? I said, well, I can put you on the agenda, or I can get it back on the agenda and see if there is. But I said, one of the things that was reported to the board last time was not correct, so I'm going to, let them know that, but
Well, if you could have that in our packets, and hopefully at the next meeting,
we can do that.
everybody's there, and
Okay, we'll do that. So that will take me off for old business too then. Right there.
so really, there's no change to the minute.
No, there's no change.
You just wanted to.
Yep, I just
okay.
wanted to point out that there was an error in that figure.
So has everybody had a chance to review the minute? If so, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Our next regular meeting will be November the 9th at 5 o'clock. And it'll be a groundbreaking for the Dollar General either October the 15th or 16th. We'll be notified to confirm a date, and I'll ask that it be posted in case anybody wants to know out front. Which we better be finding out pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Yep, we can make sure we get it. Connie is gone right now, but we can make sure we get it out there.
We'll move on to financial report. As of September the 18th, redevelopment had $2,144,125.37. And we had no proposals come in on 427 St. Clair or Center and Maple. All that was just offered at appraised value, so neither one? Nothing come in?
And so we can wait the 30 days because that was October 12th. It was for today's date.
Okay.
So we can deal at arm's length or do an RFP by the next meeting if you all want to.
Okay. Move on to new business. Mario Todd, 45 Eads Parkway, Palmer.
Yes, Your Honor. I thought Grant was going to be here tonight. If you're familiar with the property, it'd be the old service station, the old golf service station on US 50 across from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I guess sometime this was talked about to be possibly a land swap. I think Mike knows the acreage that's available over there.
Yeah, I think it's a total of like 5 lots adding up to 200 feet of road frontage, 132 foot deep. Of course, there's not 132 feet of usable ground. It goes back, I don't know, what, 75 feet or 75, 80 feet and then drops off. I think you're all familiar with that property.
You know, what was a land swap?
At one time, it was talked about trying to purchase that since it was a gateway property, and maybe relocate another viable property, or I should say business, onto that property.
That was prior to 2012?
Correct, correct. I think the owner he's motivated now to sell. I think what Grant wanted to do was get in front of the board to see if we could go out for appraisals for this property.
And in an email Grant sent me, he wants the board to consider if they're interested in that piece of property, and if so, that there'd be a phase 1 and possibly a phase 2 environmental study done, which I would assume would come off the purchase price if purchased.
Correct. That was my recommendation to Grant, because again, ex-gas station, I would recommend a phase 1 that will probably lead to a phase 2.
And if the board is interested, that also he agree to all that before we would spend our money to get appraisals. Any discussion from the board?
I know years ago we were looking at that property because they were going to build a road behind there, when there's supposed to be some type of access road.
Correct.
And that didn't happen because LCD and Lawrenceburg couldn't work together. Or there's some kind of problem from what I remember.
Well, part of it is because it is a ponding area, remedial flood control ponding area, and at that time the Conservancy didn't have enough information to see how much effect that would have on it. I've still got a preliminary road design in the can, and Paul, you can elaborate, but to this day I think you guys still don't have the information until you get everything back from the Mundell report to see how that's going to affect things. So,
And they were in favor of the project, but again, there was a model that needed to be crafted or at least studied to find out what the displacement was going to be for that roadway.
So, I mean, do they want to look at this property for redevelopment for that purpose?
This shouldn't impact that project.
Well, what's the thoughts of
What do you want to do with this
the group
property?
for this property?
Well, I
assume there's an interest.
Well, I think, and I'm not going to speak for Grant, he's not here, but I think there was a property at the gateway that may want to be relocated, and thought maybe that would be a good spot for this particular property.
the other thing, there are a couple other properties to the west of there that two other property owners, I know one would probably consider selling the property, and since it's not very deep, you'd almost need to start stocking properties to get enough width to make a development width where the city may get a nice development in that area that would go between two new buildings, the bank and the CVS.
Well, that's why I was wondering, I mean, is that road still being considered, that being filled in and a road built?
I think it's still a wish.
I mean, it's still a potential project, but until the Conservancy gets enough information that we can actually determine the long-range effects on remedial floodwaters being displaced, we can't move forward. But like I say, I'm probably 6 weeks away at any given time to have a set of construction drawings ready.
Okay, say that we did buy the property and they don't do the road. Is there enough are we able to backfill in there enough where we could put a viable building in there for somebody
Well,
to park
see,
in front of, or?
The fill is the whole question. I mean, that's where my answer would have to be no, not until the Conservancy has a full report back. But, you know, you can, it's a building block. You get 5 lots here. I think there's 2 lots at the next property and 3 lots at the property beyond that, that your development would be wide, not deep. So there is a potential for some good redevelopment with that property.
Could you use existing structure and add to it as it sits today? Yes, if that's your question.
No, that's not, that building there, I would think should be knocked down. It's not in that.
But yeah, but to fill, Tony, that's what the whole issue is on the road. Can we put fill in with any adverse effects on the remedial flood control system?
See, that's my question. If we put some new buildings in there, or somebody puts new business in there, there's nowhere for them to park hardly, or no way to get in and out, because it's just not that deep.
Yeah, that's where you'd have to,
Well, that lot's a fuller. There's fill behind that building
Yeah, I
there.
was gonna say, there is
But even with that existing building,
a lower level.
I mean, because that's, I mean, you can knock it down, build a new one right there.
you can do that.
Or
You can do
you could
like
do a
Fifth
remodel.
Third Bank. You can
Right.
put a wall up, a straight wall up to expand the buildable area. You need the road frontage though to make a good viable project.
This is so hard to get in and out of there, anywhere along there, that stretch there.
It's dangerous.
It is. We would have to look at maybe even talking to NDOT about the speed limit. I don't know. I mean,
Well, it's just
It
so
seems like-
congested. I don't think the speed's the issue anymore as much as it's just so congested.
yeah,
through
not
there.
being able to get in and
Yeah.
out.
Any other discussion of the board? Not, what would the board like to do?
I guess I'd make a motion to have it appraised.
But are you gonna ask that he agree to the phase 1 and phase 2, and that cost would come out of the purchase price if the board purchased?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
Second.
Do we have a second? First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So we need to do some type of agreement with him before we get the appraisals.
Yes.
You want that to be brought back to the board before I send it to him? I mean, it's gonna be pretty simple.
And I think as long as it has in there that he's willing to pay for phase 1, and if there needs to be a phase 2,
Okay.
that would be deducted out of the purchase price.
Well, I can do some type of letter and have him do an acknowledgement on there, so I can do that. I'll get that done and have it in your packets next time.
Just for reference, but you'll go ahead and move forward.
Can we do that on every, when people come and ask us for the appraisal, can we deduct that off of the selling price every time we do this?
Well, if it's a piece of property that you think's needed,
Well,
it's
when-
only if you think there's a hazard there that it's required. And the reason the hazard's there, because they have fuel tanks
You
in
see
there.
my point, though. You know,
Phase 1s are not bad. It's
Okay.
just where you have a known situation that's gonna flag probably at phase 2. That's where you can get into some additional monies.
I think you can basically add anything you want in your proposal. It's up
Well,
to
we've
them to
got
accept.
all these proposals to buy these houses, but what can we just say, okay, yeah, we'll do it, but if we buy it, we're subtracting it from what we pay you.
We could definitely put that in any of our purchase contracts.
Okay, just a thought.
Okay. Anything else under new business?
Oh, the only other thing on this one, I did notice in his letter that he did have, he did say that the underground tanks were removed under the supervision of the state of Indiana. Must have been when they actually made the road bigger, right, in US 50?
No.
No?
No,
It's not when the tanks were
there's a
removed?
mandate to have them all removed.
Okay. But he said an environmental certificate was issued, so what does that mean? Does that,
That's for the tank removal. That's not an entire site.
Okay.
environmental
Means you had a
study.
certified remover. And we're
That
blessed.
should help though, right? I mean, as long as there's somebody there that, I mean, because
Yeah,
part of their
it
job is to get in there and
definitely
not
will
break it
help,
up.
But it
Okay.
helps this area, not
Right,
the whole area.
thanks.
Move on to old business, Leslie Votal, Snaybelt. You need to speak on that more?
No,
Okay.
I'll bring back the list next time.
Mike Clark, 18 Bilby Road.
Okay, on that, at the last meeting, it was discussed, and I mentioned that the owner needs to make sure he can build on that. I know he's in attendance tonight. I did meet with Mr. Denning, and I did verify that the entire site is located in the floodplain. So, and I believe Mr. Denning was wanting to come and approach the board tonight.
Mr. Denny?
Hi, my name is Tim Denning. I want to officially remove my offer to purchase for that lot. Based on Mike Clark's recommendation, I hired land consultants to look at that piece of property. Just to understand if it's buildable was going to cost me between $6,000 and $8,000. They have to core drill it. He looked at the lot and said, Tim, you're going to have to put a retaining wall in the back, fill it in 7 to 8 feet, and we can build something on it, because you can build, anything's possible, but it's going to cost you about $12,000 to $14,000 with engineering costs. Just put a house there. That's just the plans. So, thanks, but no thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Move on to myself, Dollar General Development residential lots. From an email I received, first, I think probably need to get approval from the board on the groundbreaking. There needs to be some shovels purchased, I believe, and spray painted gold. And the developer, I believe, is asking approval to keep one of the shovels. So I'm asking this board's permission to move forward with buying the shovels, having them painted gold, and approval for the developer to keep one.
I think this is, why don't we just ask the people, took them home, put them on their walls, to give them back? I know a guy that's got one on his wall.
There's one up in Mr. Hughes's office.
I guess I'll make the motion.
We have a motion. We have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Rafferty is interested in getting housing started. Looks like he has agreed that he would, if any developers wanted possibly some of the lots, so I think he's going to build some, but he would be willing to sell lots at $1 a piece to get houses going. So I want to put that on the record. Mr. Seymour? And I want to just get the board to approve, which I think what we've talked about's already approved it, but I guess you never approved too many times, that those new houses that would be built there would be eligible for the up to 10% or up to $15,000 on a new home for the buyer. So I'd just like to get approval that,
In your honor, just for clarity, that is not just for a first-time buyer, it's just.
no, for a new home.
Correct.
Right, not a new home buyer, but a new home. And that's why I think we've had this in detailed discussion, but I want to get it again, just to make sure that everything's clear, that it's only a new home, and it would be for the new homes also built by the new Dollar General.
Didn't we set up a certain amount for that?
10% or up to
Yeah,
$15,000.
but didn't we set out a certain amount, the
60,000.
budget? Huh?
Yeah, we started out at 60, I think.
That's all.
I would rather wait till the full board's here to vote on that, because we have to increase that amount then.
True.
That entire 60's gone right now, correct? Is there still 15 left?
30, I think. yeah.
30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there is some left.
So, I mean, we can go ahead and vote to make them eligible for that, but then we might have to end up putting more money in there
Right.
for some other homes.
Because I think that was for, was it 5 homes over there?
I think so.
I make a motion, we make them eligible for the 10% up to 15,000.
Second.
Have a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I believe that's all I had on that.
Now,
You know anything, Mario, for that?
just to add to that though, should we set up for the next meeting to talk about adding more money to that program? Because we won't have enough money in there for the houses that are going to be built, I don't think.
Well, I would say, because next meeting will be November, I would address that at first of the year, at the new year, because they're not going to be done before that.
I don't know, the way Satch builds them, you never know.
Speedy?
It's got 3 of them.
All right, we'll move on to Mike Clark and Mario, 535 St. Clair.
Your Honor, I believe the property owner's in the audience. I know there's been an offer. He declined the offer, and I think he wants to approach the board.
Sir? If you would, just state your name for the record.
I'm Luke Brett. I own the property on 535 St. Clair Street, and I'm just here to ask, I know you guys previously used to pay for demolition when you tear down properties, when you buy them, and I ain't asking for you guys to cover all, but I'm hoping to get a little more than the 53, just so, I was 20 years old when I bought this house, and I got in over my head, didn't know what I was getting into, and it's been a money pit for me ever since. And I'm hoping to get off to a better start with my next property, and I'm just hoping to have more of a down payment for my next property if you guys could budge it all on the 53.
Have you got a price, what it would cost you to demo it?
No, I wasn't really interested in,
Because the most this board could go is 68.5, which is the average of the 2 appraisals,
yeah.
with you paying to have the demo done.
There's no way we could go half and half, maybe, I know he said
Well,
it'd be around
that'd be up to this
15
board.
grand.
I mean, if
Yeah.
they, that would be
And I
their
just
choice.
wanted to hopefully come over here and reach an agreement tonight, or,
We had the property surveyed, pre-demo survey. There was a little bit of asbestos, pipe wrap, I think it was like 20 foot, and that was all that was in the property. So the abatement was probably gonna be less than $1,000 there.
Did you get cost by chance at demo?
Just a guesstimate, curbside look will be between $10,000 and probably $12,000.
The difference is 18.5, what we offered. So,
What's the board having to say? The average of the 2 was 68.5.
Demolition will run around 10.
10 to 12,000, that was just a curbside look. What I mean by that, we had a couple of our contractors go by and just give a guesstimate from the street.
Well, I understand that you want to get this settled tonight, but I myself don't feel comfortable when we make a decision like this when we don't have a full board here.
Would you like to make a
We
motion to
offered-
table, or
We offered 53.
yeah.
For 50.
50?
I thought Grant called me Friday and said he wouldn't be here today, but he said it was either he upped it to 53 or I take the 68.5 and I cover the abatement and the demolition all myself.
Well, I can only go by the letter sent out.
Yeah, and
Which
this
was
letter was
50?
based on the motion made by the board. Mr. Hughes can't just change the
Alright.
board's decisions.
Okay.
I mean, as far as the 68.5, which was the average of the 2 appraisals, obviously that is the offer without the demo.
Would you consider the 68.5 a new demo?
I was kind of hoping more, at least to walk away
And
with
I'm just
60.
asking because that
Yeah.
could possibly be something this board might want to do tonight. If not, we can table till we have a full board.
If you accept that deal, you're getting 58 for it then. If demo's only gonna be 10.
That's if demo's only gonna be 10.
But you can get it done cheaper than the city's gonna
And
get it
that's what I
done.
was gonna
Really?
explain to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what?
Well, I was gonna explain to you, we've got to actually go out for quotes and bids to do the demo. You can actually wheel and deal and negotiate with contractors. You may get it for $5,000, you know?
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll get it done cheaper than the city, but
Yeah.
that's up to you.
Dollar and cents wise, you would probably come out ahead if you contracted a demo yourself, since the abatement's only gonna be, 20 foot of that pipe wrap they found.
Yeah. And other than that, you want the whole board here to vote on anything else? Is what?
I mean, I agree with Tony. I kinda like it, making major decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking I would even give up 85 off of the demo and just walk away with 60. But
Are we allowed to deal like this?
I don't.
Yes.
We are allowed to,
Up
okay.
to-
I've
The
never been a
counter,
part
so
of
his
it.
counter offer is 60,000 and we still do the demo.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, I'd give up 85 toward the demo or whatever.
Up to this board.
What I can do then is, if you guys don't want to vote on it tonight, then we can, we can talk to them individually. We won't necessarily have to wait to the next meeting if you guys want to do it that way, but I'll
Well,
do
if,
it however.
if that's your counter offer, give up the 8.5, then we'll be spending more than the appraised value if it costs us 10,000 to demolition. So there's no way we can take that offer.
Well, you wouldn't include the,
Well, what we've done before maybe was kind of mistakes, but you try and stop a mistake before it happens. I mean, the appraised value is 68.5. I think we ought to try and stick at 68.5.
but your demo price in the past, we've purchased whatever the number had been.
And the board's paid for the
Yeah.
demo.
Yeah.
But that's a counter offer. If you guys don't want to vote on it, I can send out,
We can vote
Information.
tonight, or we can table. What would this board like to do?
I'd like to see all these numbers written down. Besides, we've got 50, he says 53.
Well, the only thing that you can go by is what was put in writing and voted on by
Okay,
the
I know,
board.
but I don't want to vote on something that he says is not correct. That,
No, we voted on 50.
oh, we voted
Yeah.
on?
This board voted on 50.
at the
Where
last,
did you get the 53?
I declined that, and Grant was saying Friday.
See, there's a problem with the 50 and the 53 now. So I don't think we should vote on this till he's okay and see what Grant, if Grant
see-
said this.
We could wipe that problem out, Head, if we decide on a price here. Other than that,
I'd
we
like to
wait till the
decide on
board
the
gets here.
price.
Well,
He do the demolition.
Mario?
I think Grant was just kind of making a recommendation, a proposal to him. I don't think it was an offer.
Yeah, it wasn't. The
Yeah.
only thing I've got written was the letter with 50 grand.
we do 58.5
58.5.
when we demo, right? No,
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
because that's what he's saying. He'd be willing to take the 8,500 to go towards the demo, any demo costs, which, I don't know.
Well,
And you were talking about the 10,000 demo costs.
The only thing I would be willing to make a deal with tonight without the full board is not going over the appraised value, including demolition. I feel comfortable with that without the board being here. Anything that's gonna cost more than this appraised value, I would wait till the whole board is here to discuss.
if that's the case, do you want to make a motion then for 68.5, so it's a true offer with the demo?
That means
Yeah,
that
Or,
he
I
does,
mean,
he does
with
it.
He would have to pay the demo.
Right, that's what
Or-
I'm saying, with the demo.
Or I'll take 10 off of it, like Mario says, it's gonna cost 10 to do it, and that would make it 58.5, and we'll do the demo.
I'm okay with the 58.5. We do the demo also tonight.
Couldn't just come up the extra 1,500 to 60?
Sure we could, next board meeting. Because we can't do that without the other board members being here.
And you sure you don't want to consider the appraised value and you do the demo?
You're coming out ahead that way, Guy.
Yeah, I just really don't know what to expect when I'm getting in.
We can show you a few that will demo it for you. There's one, Ryan Howard, that I can think of
Well,
offhand.
we can give you some names of demo contractors.
That guy right there will probably tell you, you're gonna come out better taking the appraised value and getting the demo.
Better
Can
than,
you make the suggestion of the 68.5 and then he can research the demo
Sure.
to make his mind up?
Yeah. The board could do whatever
Yeah.
they
You
please.
feel comfortable with that?
Out for anything.
right.
And then if you decide it would be approved by this board already, but if you decide not to, you'd have to come back to the next meeting and,
Can I ask, well, I work second shift out at the casket company. Today's my last vacation day of the year, and we're in busy season right now. If I call off and get caught outside, I lose my job. So I ain't gonna be able to come back over on a weekday. But can I ask his opinion on if I take the 58.5 offer, is that a better offer than the 68.5 and I cover demo?
I think you're gonna do better if you take the 68.5.
And we're gonna let you do the
I definitely do.
research, and you can turn it down. But if
You
you,
can have your 3 names, I can have your 3 names on your front porch in the mailbox.
If you
tomorrow.
choose to do that,
Yeah.
we can help you out with that process.
We can't help you do it, but we can
No.
help recommend.
they can recommend.
I think Mr. Seymour would probably get in contact with 3 of them for you and get a price, wouldn't you, Satch?
I don't have a problem at all.
Sure.
I got 3 names.
Well, I guess I would like to do that then.
Okay, so the
I'll make
counter,
the-
I'll call them off.
you guys need to vote on the counter.
I'd
I'll make-
appreciate it.
Tell them to come over and look at it, and then they can give you the prices. That way you don't have to deal with them.
I'd appreciate
Luke, you can
that.
turn it down if you don't want it.
The only,
I'd
will
take
the
the 6.
58.5 still stick? Will that still be an offer we'd be willing to accept?
We'd have to do it another
Try
time,
this? Yeah.
because
So, if
we can
you're
only
gonna-
make one offer.
I mean, we can only, somebody can make a motion, we can pass
You're
one
gonna
thing
be
tonight.
You're gonna be better off with the 68.5.
I agree. And if you don't, and if it doesn't work out, you can cancel it,
Yeah.
and you don't have to come back here anymore.
All right, well, I'll do that.
I think you should trust someone, and
You're not getting into anything here that you have to do.
Yeah, it's not assigned, so you can just back out anytime.
And the rules are slightly different if the property owner does a demo
So he
on a
saves money that
single-family
way.
residential versus a commercial versus a government doing it. The abatement's slightly different on how that's handled, so if it's $1,000 for us to do it, you or your contractor's gonna have to meet with me to obtain a demolition permit, and at that time, I can explain the difference in what you do and what you don't have to do.
I'll make the motion to offer 68.5 for the 427 St. Clair property.
What number?
Not 427.
It's not, oh,
535.
535.
535.
sorry, I'm looking the wrong one there. For the 535 St. Clair property with the homeowner paying for the demolition.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, sir.
So now it's just,
She'll be contacting you.
all right,
That, and
Mr. Seymour will.
Quoted for you.
all right,
You'll have 3 or 4 prices.
all right. Appreciate it.
You'll
Thank
And-
you all.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Not
Yeah.
a problem.
Mr.
luck.
Brett, can you leave your phone number with me too? That'd be great.
I've got all his contact.
You do?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
hey, Luke,
Thank
if you'd
you.
like to call me tomorrow too, I can.
Any other old
explain
business?
Things to you.
You're Mike?
Mike, yeah.
All right,
All right.
thank you, sir.
Tom, Tony, any old business? You have anything?
What is going on with the Main Street property for, can't believe I can't think of that, Slaybacks? Mike, did you look into that, whether it's been turned over to the city from the state, or where that property is at, that triangle in front of them?
Yes, that is the city's.
It is the city's, so can we put that out, and before we sell that to them for $1 or whatever, can we put that out in full? Can we put that out in full? Can we put that out in full?
Yes, that is the city's.
And then, can we put that out in full? 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 Can we put that out in Do we have to put that out for sale?
Yeah, because we've got that, there's a small triangle in front of their frontage, and then there's another one in front of Embark, so we would have to advertise both of those. But Tony, I still want you to realize, they'll
I know
never
it's not
get a
gonna-
curb cut there.
I know there's not no curb, but there'd be a curb cut on 4th Street, right? Where the garage
They
is.
could get a curb cut on
Well,
4th
anything,
Street, yes.
if
Well,
somebody.
they can get a curb cut so many feet back from that
Right.
intersection.
It would basically be right next to the
Garage.
small curb cut going into the garage, but they could put a curb
Yeah.
cut next to that and a drive going in,
Oh,
yes.
if they or somebody who buys the property, maybe they can put a little turnaround in front to get back out on 4th Street. I don't know, give them room to back up.
There's room actually in the yard itself to make like a 3-point turn. and
Yeah,
get in
put a
and
little,
out.
put a T drive in or something.
And one thing too, I just want you guys to know too, her coming in here and saying they didn't get any notice of this whole NDOT. I went back and looked at it. There was notice out the wazoo on those things.
Yeah.
And we
I
really
know
did
they're
wanna-
older and I know they might not remember, but
Well, Mike and myself met with Bernie, I don't know how many times prior to the bridge even, they knew it was coming. Matter of fact, there was a hearing that they got notice to also for that.
But, I mean, if we can help them out at all, I mean, I understand, they are kind of, what about, how far, and where's that parking lot behind their garage, or to the side of their, left of their garage?
That's owned by Embark.
Embark.
Yep. So, well, I'd like to make a motion to advertise those 2 pieces of property so we can at least start that.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Leslie, I'll get with you and get you that information.
Thank you.
I have one more thing.
Okay, Tom, go ahead.
What's the addresses for, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What's the addresses for those 2 pieces of property? Mike, do you know?
There is no address, really. It was
Yeah,
just kind of.
even the house don't
stuff
have an
left over.
address.
I think I think they had Main Street addresses originally.
Yeah.
So we'll have to change
Just
those.
sign it.
Bridge access property.
The road behind Fairman and Dunkin' Donuts, that little incline, could we get some gravel?
That's private property.
That's, that little incline coming,
Yep.
that's private? Who
Yes,
owns it?
Yes. Fairman.
Fairman.
So the cop cars, when they were going down for Fall Fest, they were coming, we're not supposed to be doing that?
Private
Well, anyway, I
property.
walk up there every morning and the grass is getting, like a little bit of, so see Fairman about putting
Gravel on.
some grass.
Hey, let me know, because I want to be there when you see him, okay? Ask him to put some gravel there for
I didn't know it was
cop
private property.
Okay.
They've been gracious enough to let us use that for access in and out of the park for maintenance.
And actually, Mr. Fairman's been in the hospital since March, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So talk to Brett.
You better talk to Holly. Okay. If you want to answer. Looking for approval of claims once properly certified.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any comments from the audience? No comments from the audience. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Well, that wasn't too bad.
That settlement, did you see it in there as far as for structural fund?
Yeah.
They came back with some different changes, but you always voted.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I'll just get with you when we get
Okay.
it worked out.
Okay.
I know, I didn't want to say it out loud.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Good kid, you know what I mean? Yeah, he just was worried.
Young man with St. Clair. It's a fence.
You go to the thrift store and get some shitty old
I'd have to
shelving,
ask
if you're
him.
just gonna paint them gold anyway.
I don't know if there's an issue with, if there's anything in the ordinance about putting a fence on
I think you all need to
floodplain.
hire a
I don't think so. I don't think that'd be an issue with it.
Shit, I'll do it.
You know what I'm thinking, right?
And then
I don't know who buys the shovels.
Oh. I don't know if
The
they
ones that I've seen
want
on
that,
the walls,
but
they're not painted, they're like
Anything else?
plated.
Yeah.
They're
He
real
just put, they
nice.
can't put it in
They're-
there.
And they're got
green spaces,
on the bottom.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
It was no plated shovels.
yeah, green
Well,
space
you
is
could
all
take 'em
it's
to,
Yeah,
good for, which is what I thought to begin with. See, because until you hit right there on industrial, how that steps up, that's what gets it up out of flood.
oh, it's.
And then it's out of flood all the way back.
Yeah, I've got one back when we did that.
I'll see if I got that.
Are they real shovels or that sissy has to?
No, they're really Razorback shovels. But they're painted, there's gold free, gold sprayed. And you sign them, you know, you have everybody autograph them.
Oh my. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put one on the wall and I'm gonna make up something.
Oh, when you build your new house over there.
Imagine what kind of quote I put on a shovel.
When you build your new house over there, you have the groundbreaking.
Yeah, but they didn't vote it that way.
I know, there's a room somewhere in this building. There's one, a couple of there. There's one right there. Big one. Hey, I've been treated as a secretary by these businessmen down here, treating in Greendale business. And I've been Lawrenceburg my whole life. And my mom and dad died saying, well, those Greendale people, you know, and finally, that crying is she's I mean,
Seen her back over there.
right, and that looking down at us.
And I don't have no problem with Greenville Hills, but
No,
they
no,
can keep her
no,
over
that's
there.
been that way forever. Now,
Because here's the thing, you know what's wrong with her? She wants things here that she wants. It's not about what she wants, it's about what this community will
I just
support.
hate to see
her husband, her properties are so high.
I'm scared of that.
You
You know what
know,
I'm
they
saying?
are to bulldoze the damn thing.
I know, but thank you. Appreciate it.
Look at it to see if it's.
I know you're right.
Believe me.
I didn't even know how big it was.
Hey,
See, impact.
you know what I told them? I said, "Then,
Because I really have to look. It seems like we
I
would.
understand. I hope you have.
then don't."
Okay,
Come
hey,
in to.
thanks.
I
appreciate it. Okay.
You're all set up.
It works now?
The only problem is, he didn't tell me this part, so you gotta have the computer at the car lot on for the one at the top of work. So he showed me and I looked it up.
Well, that shouldn't be an issue because the car lot closes last.
Right. But I'm thinking just like Saturdays if he meets them. But I'll show you.
Primary structure in there.
They can't change that?
You would have to go through the variance process. I mean, anything is possible.
But I mean, that's up to redevelopment. Redevelopment is the ones that want the primary
Well,
structure.
but to
Not
do
variance.
Variance, that goes through the planning commission and the board of
But what I'm saying is that those were the people that made the requirements,
Oh.
right?
for what they wanted
Well, here's what I told
to.
them.
Right.
It's your truck, it ain't mine.
But if it's that, then planning commission and the board of development standard requirement. I'm pretty sure you would have to ask for several variances.
But I mean, what I'm saying is it's pretty much said tonight that you can't put a building there.
Not unless you,
Well,
I mean, you can, but
Yeah,
you gotta
you
make it
would
out of
draw
flood.
it.
anything's possible.
I mean, if you
Is that only 7 feet low there?
Well, up right next to the road, I think it's 2.
See, I would've thought it was more than,
See, it angles down.
cause it don't get out of flood till right when you,
Right at the,
In the back side before it drops off, it's probably.
okay. I mean, I just curious.
But like I say, and it's actually there's not much room there.
See, that's what, I mean, when you guys put it up and then somebody said they wanted to buy it to put a building there, that's what I thought. I thought, how in the heck can you put a building there?
well, I knew when it only appraised for $1,800.
It's all floodplain.
Yeah.
I know it was,
And that was a problem too, Tim found out that even if you spent the money to raise it up, then you've still got a problem with the floodwater against it with a load on
Exactly.
it. That,
Yeah, because I mean, that's literally little by little going into Tanner's Creek anyway.
you know, is it possible? Yeah, but
Everything's
at
possible.
what expense and how many hoops and hurdles and where are you gonna end up when you get it?
Right.
I just don't.
I mean, it's just like where we built down there. If it wasn't been next to the road, it would, just one more, you had to spend too much money.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just curious.
But
You
yeah,
don't let me don't ask
anything's
the question.
possible. I hear you.